anyone who blocks my path.
The blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill her.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Three Houses. My name is Daniel, and we just finished the battle in the Mausoleum. We are now with Cetus and Rhea, and most importantly, Shamir, watching the judgment of the... I forget, is it the Eastern Church? It's not the Eastern Church, because that's us.
Inciting a kingdom noble to rebel. Unlawful entry. The attempted assassination of the Archbishop. An attack on the Holy Mausoleum.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of ambiguity as to what the sentencing is going to be, is there?
It is unnecessary to go on, followers of the Western Church.
Okay, Western Church. I couldn't remember, because the Eastern Church... Okay, that doesn't make sense. Eastern Church has been referenced, but they're the one that doesn't have a standing army, and so they constantly lean on the Central Church to be like, can you come deal with this?
What? We have nothing to do with the Western Church.
You have already been identified. Please spare us your second-rate theater.
Dishonoring a holy ceremony is worthy of death for a member of the Church.
These guys aren't worthy of anything. I declare them unworthy.
You are well past the hope of redemption. If you have any grace remaining, you will willingly offer your life as atonement for this crime.
No, this isn't what we were told would happen. We've been deceived.
See, this is what they should be keying on who actually told them stuff.
It's no use arguing. Whatever your excuse, the punishment stands.
Again, I really feel like we should be looking into what's behind it, because we could find out about those that lurk in the shadows way faster.
May your souls find peace as they return to the goddess.
Wait, please. The goddess would never forgive you for our execution.
Yeah, I doubt that. The goddess actually doesn't care about any of you guys. She's like hanging out with me.
Monster. We know you've already slaughtered many of our fellow brethren like this.
I thought you just said you weren't with the Western Church.
This concludes the investigation. Please remove these poor lost souls from my sight.
You just lied to the High Priestess. Archbishop, that's what her name is. Archbishop.
There you have it. It seems the assassination attempt and the attack on the Holy Mausoleum were all the work of the Western Church.
Man, unfortunately, it makes sense.
As for the masked knight who led the attack, I'm afraid his whereabouts are yet unknown.
Yeah, he's probably the masked dude that, you know, wanted to duel me and disappeared. We figured that out last time, but then nothing. That was the weird thing. Like, we even fought and defeated the Holy Knight, and that never actually got resolved.
It makes no sense that the Western Church would try such a thing.
It just goes to show that the Church of Seros is not completely united.
Really, Dimitri? I'm sorry, whenever the Western Church attacks the Central Church, I don't think you need to be like, apparently, the Church is not entirely united. What do you mean entirely? There was an armed assault.
The Church is led by those here at Garreg Mach, and the Western Church doesn't have a strong voice on its governing council. I imagine the Western Church has harbored some resentment toward the Central Church for a while now.
That is interesting. Why are they a separate faction or a separate, you know, what is the Western Church if they don't have a strong, like a seat on the council of the Central Church? Were they just sort of like a group of people that banded together and aren't officially anything?
Ah, that's right. Gerald did say that you grew up outside the influence of the Church.
I sure did.
The Church of Seros is split into a few branches across Fodlan. The largest being the Central Church, which is headquartered right here at Garreg Mach.
Yeah, effectively the one in charge of everything. Despite some of the other ones don't like that very much.
The Western Church lies far to the west of Castle Gaspar.
Really?
Where Lord Lonato held his rebellion.
Guys, the Western Church is to the west. Never would have figured it out. It's a good thing we have Dimitri here.
It's situated on the far side of the kingdom's most impressive fortress, Aryan Road. I imagine the Western Church's intention was to eliminate Lady Rhea, and the Central Church's authority along with her.
That is the question, because which is the largest church other than the Central Church? Because first of all, are there only three, or is there a northern and a southern church as well? Because we know there's an eastern and western. We know the eastern is tiny.
Naturally, the knights will be riding out to question the Western Church's top officials, or rather, to punish them.
When they do, Your Highness, we will likely be asked to help carry out said punishment.
Indeed. Now, I don't mean to be rude, Professor, but I must say your situation is rather unusual.
I mean, that's not really rude. I'm a very unique and sparkling personality.
Someone to grow up in Fodlan and yet never have any contact with the Church of Seiros is... it's hard to believe.
I wonder why the Archbishop would hire someone like that as a professor.
Because sometimes you need things you can't learn from people indoctrinated.
So, those people from the Western Church where... Lady Rhea had them killed, didn't she?
She did, although I definitely don't agree. As much as, like, Lord, Ronaldo, that's not his name. But as much as your foster father leading the rebellion and getting put down in battle is kind of, I wish there had been another way, I wish we could have talked this out. These guys straight up assaulted Garrick Mach. Like, there's not a lot of second ways through this.
Well, of course she did. Going against the teachings of Seiros like that, quite unforgivable.
That one's open for interpretation and debate, but attacking Garrick Mach is not.
Those who stray must be punished, I suppose. That said, Professor,
There you are, Professor. It seems Lady Rhea would like a word with you. Come with me.
I'm having a discussion with my students right now. Tell her to wait.
The Archbishop lives.
Oh, now this is a scene we didn't get before, I don't believe. I just don't recognize this guy. If he was before, he's someone that disappeared and never resurfaced in Claude's campaign.
Not that I had ever placed much faith in those swine from the Western Church.
I have news, both good and bad.
So I have to wonder, does Edelgard have a voice modulator? Like, that seems a bit high advanced tech for this era.
The remains of Seiros were not in a tomb. However, something else was. The Sword of the Creator.
Ah, the weapon wielded by that thief, the King of Liberation.
Yeah, but he can't have it, because he's going to attack at the end of the game. That is a good, decent question, actually. I don't know if he will. Because I'm just thinking about this. It is, of course, possible that Dimitri will follow the exact same line that Claude did, and marked upon Edelgard, and then find out about those that slither in the shadows. However, the fact that these are different storylines, I don't think... Because obviously Edelgard is not necessarily... Well, she was still... I don't know. We'll have to see.
Thief. Huh. At any rate, it is now in the hands of the Academy's new professor. I doubt you will be surprised to hear that the crest stone had already been removed from the sword when it was found.
As expected. It would be foolish to keep both in the same location.
Kitty.
There's more. The professor was able to awaken the sword's true power. Even without the crest stone, the sword glowed red. The professor's crest is compatible. There is no mistaking it.
That's something I hadn't considered before, because we actually know that both me and the Flame Emperor have the Crest of Flames.
Absurd. Using a relic without its crest stone should be impossible. The King of Liberation's bloodline should not even...
They must be allowed to keep it, for now. I do not have enough information about the professor to act. As for your request, I assent. The Death Knight is at your command. Use him well.
Interesting. I have to wonder, is this one of the leaders of those who slither below, or whatever? So we do definitely know that the Death Knight was working for them, but not one of them.
Good. I believe I will enjoy this a great deal.
Definitely looks different than all the, like, pasty, zombie-like dudes. So both Tomas's true form and that guy we ran into in the game.
For defeating those invaders in the Holy Mausoleum, and especially for protecting the Sword of the Creator. That sword is one of the hero's relics, and the most precious artifact in the Church's possession. It is also a weapon of terrifying power.
Not terrifying enough.
For now, I will entrust the sword to you. Please, use it wisely.
Lady Rhea, wait! Do you truly mean to give the sword of the Creator to this stranger?
Like, it's interesting. This one I actually don't mind. Because it seems like every episode we always have a discussion about Seteth. And I probably should stop having it because people misinterpret what I'm saying. Just so we're clear, because the people that don't read comments may not know this. I don't mind Seteth. I think what Seteth does makes a lot of sense. As far as Seteth's point of view is, here's this guy that showed up one day and was just sort of like, oh, hey, you're here. Well, good. A professor was killed. You take over. You have literally no background in anything. No pedigree. No... Like, basically, you're the reason we're taking you is because you're some famous guy's kid. And even then, not necessarily by blood. Although, to be fair, I don't think Seteth knows about the not by blood possibility. Because Geralt ran off with me, but I don't think Geralt necessarily... Well, I don't know. Because we did have my mom's grave, but again, was that really... Were they really together, or did they just have feelings for... I don't know, it's interesting. But no, Seteth's mistrust and distrust makes a lot of sense. However, the issue I continuously have with him is that the way he approaches his distrust is to effectively attack and belittle me instead of dealing with it in a way that makes sense or a way that kind of helps resolve the issues he's having. He's just kind of snippy and dismissive and I don't like you. Which is just, it doesn't make me feel any better. And it's just, it's mean. But yeah, a lot of people seem to think I just hate Seteth, and I'm like, well, no. I consider him kind of a demeaning prick, but other than that, that's a character foil for him that I'll call him out on, but I don't dislike him as a character, and I think he's interesting as a character. I just wish... Because obviously when I play the game, I get very, very close to my character, and when someone attacks my character, I'm going to dress them down for it.
Surely it is not the sort of thing one hands over so readily, even to someone who has the ability to wield it. If someone like Nemesis were to appear again, all of Fodlan would be consumed by war.
Funny you should say that, Seteth. I know who Nemesis is.
Nemesis, the King of Liberation. He is an ancient king of mankind who was defeated.
Did I ask about Nemesis the last time?
1,000 years ago.
And the reason I asked that is because I know the last time I played this game, when I played through Claude's route, I actually went to the library and read everything. Whereas in this route, I did not. So I almost wonder if that doesn't get asked if you've already read about it. It would make sense that your character wouldn't actually ask. If they already knew the answer.
When Fodlan was attacked by wicked gods, it is said that the goddess gifted Nemesis with the sword of the Creator. Nemesis used that sword to defeat the wicked gods, saving all of Fodlan. Henceforth, he was dubbed the King of Liberation.
I still like the term the King of Libation better.
However, his power began to corrupt him until he himself turned to the darkness. Saint Seros was forced to destroy him. Lady Rhea, I beg you to reconsider. Given a little more time, we could more accurately assess this stranger's abilities.
And again, this is where if I were Seteth and I was in the situation, I might be like, can we discuss this in private? You know, the fact that he just keeps saying, yeah, this guy can't be trusted in front of me is just a little bit like, dude, that's not, you're not being subtle at all.
No, I have faith, Seteth. Faith that our friend here will not be corrupted by wickedness.
And of course, from Rhea's point of view, the reason she can do all this is because she actually knows that a fragment of the actual goddess is inside me.
Since the death of Nemesis, none have been able to wield the sword of the Creator. Now, after all those long years of being sealed away, it has returned and found a new master.
One almost wonders, actually, I don't think this is possible, but was this whole thing manipulated by Rhea in order to get me into the mausoleum so that I could get the Sword of the Creator? But no, that doesn't make any sense. That's way too Machiavellian to get a very, very easy outcome.
I understand. As you wish, Lady Rhea. There you have it, Professor. See that you do not betray the trust the Archbishop has seen fit to bestow upon you.
You know what I honestly think it is? This guy reminds me of Ivar. Or Ivor. I can never remember how to say his name, but from Zillia. Where he's just kind of like, you know, I'm the chosen of Rhea. You suck. And, you know, now granted, Seth is a much, much better designed character than Ivor. But that's just his kind of petulant and trying showmanship up kind of reminds me of that, and God, I could not stand him. Ivor, not Seth.
The sword of the Creator? The King of Liberation? Each tale is more confusing than the last.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have to hear about it.
And I really can't read that Rhea at all. That sword is clearly precious. So why is she so keen to gift the thing to you? Is that a fact? I feel as though we have become entangled in a mystery.
I mean, we do know, though granted, it is a question of how much lore she knows, but we do definitely know that the sword, that most holy relics cannot be used without their crest stone. That's kind of what gives them their power. And it's extremely rare for a crest to resonate so much that you can use the weapon without it. So the fact that it reacted to us does actually mean that the sword... Maybe, I think shoes is a little bit too fanciful a way of expressing it, but the sword definitely resonated with me.
And there is one more thing that has been plaguing me. The sword of the Creator. It somehow feels distinct from other relics we have seen. Such as the one that... Oh goodness, what was her name?
Catherine.
Yes, her! The sword of the Creator is different from her Thunderbrand in one key way.
It gives you insight and lets you wander through, like, find a path through the forest?
It bears a hole, where something should have been, but is no more. I despise not knowing what is going on. It frightens me. And yet, I place my trust in you. I must. Whatever comes to pass, please swear to cut a path that is your own.
I will cut a path through time itself. Because we've seen me do it. Alright, wow. That took 17 minutes just to get through the beginning of the episode. I'm always loath to split these up, but I may have to. Because we haven't even gotten to the social section.
White clouds. Verdant rain moon. Tower of black winds. The ceaseless rains that satiate the verdant landscape of Fodlan are accompanied by fierce winds and mighty roars of thunder. This abundance of rain, sparkling as it falls against beams of emerging sunlight, is a constant reminder to the people of Fodlan that nature is ever wild and unpredictable. For when the rain finally does take pause, the clouds part and give way to a glorious rainbow.
That one just, I think I said this the last time too, it's odd. That one doesn't feel like it was junctured together correctly.
I have a new mission for you, Professor.
All right.
I would like for you to take your students into Kingdom territory to eliminate some thieves.
That sounds very, very lame compared to what's come before.
They stole a hero's relic from House Gautier of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, the Lance of Ruin.
I don't recall this quest.
Their leader's name is Miklan. He is apparently a disowned son.
I do remember
of
this
House
quest. Yep, this is actually the quest where Lysithea died. Was that really this? I feel like the quests are out of order. I thought Lysithea was already dead by the time we ran into the Death Knight. And why are we getting involved?
This skirmish involves a holy relic, and is therefore more than a single noble is capable of resolving. The hero's relics are immensely powerful weapons. We must meet this threat with adequate force. Unfortunately, most of the Knights of Seiros are away from the monastery, purging the apostates of the Western Church. So we are entrusting you with this mission. After all, you wield the Sword of the Creator, which is more than capable of opposing any relic.
Maybe this is where this mission happens. Man, Lysithea was alive for longer than I thought she was.
The Sword of the Creator is a powerful weapon well beyond the other relics. You have nothing to fear. However, to ensure that no harm comes to the students, we will also send the monastery's most skilled individuals to aid you.
Wow, if this is the same line, yeah, to ensure no one gets hurt. About that last playthrough.
I must remind you that you are expected to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the wielder of that holy sword.
Oh, I'm getting into Felix.
Also, you should know that Professor Hanneman has been looking for you. That is all.
I heard about our mission for this month. So, we are to eradicate thieves in Kingdom territory. I'm sorry for dragging you into the Kingdom's petty squabbles. This should not be your burden to bear, but my own.
Hey, we're both hearing it.
Thank you, Professor. Hearing you say that puts my mind at ease.
Your Highness? Ah, it's been ages.
Is that Felix's dad or older brother or something?
It's been a long time. 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, Your Highness. You've grown so much in those years. I hardly recognize you.
Definitely did not run into him in the previous playthrough.
Professor, this is Rodrigue. He's an old friend of my father's. Some of my earliest memories include this fellow. When my father died 4 years ago, he looked after me as though I were his own son.
Interesting.
You flatter me, Your Highness. It was my honor to care for such a fine young man. It's nice to finally meet you, Professor. My son, Felix.
Okay, I definitely knew they were related.
What brings you to the monastery, Rodrigue? Is it the thieves plaguing the kingdom?
I'm afraid so. This is not merely a problem for House Gautier, but for everyone. The thieves have set up their headquarters in Fraldarius territory, and are mercilessly pillaging the villagers of that area. You have our full support in stopping those dastards.
Ooh, dastards,
Thank you
I like
for
that
your
word.
help, both of you.
Good of you to come, Professor. I've heard much about you lately. Specifically, that you are able to awaken the Sword of the Creator's power. Thusly, it seems the true nature of your crest has been uncovered.
So one does wonder, how is Hanneman... I guess that Edelgard just wouldn't let him analyze her crest, but considering she's enrolled here, I'm surprised that she has the power to say no. I have the power to say no because I'm at the same level as he has. We're both professors.
I had, of course, seen your crest before. However, at first, I failed to recognize its true nature.
Although that said, you know, kind of the same thing happens with Flane, where she won't let him analyze her crest. So I guess it is. It's not like something required. Although Flane also isn't enrolled, so who really knows? Who knows? Not me.
Eventually, it dawned on me that what is visible is perhaps merely a small part of a greater whole. In other words, your crest is too significant to be detected when using normal instruments.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, that should make it easier to detect, because it's one of the most significant crests where the research started.
After this discovery, I began researching crests that might fit that description, which allowed for a temporary hypothesis. However, I could not be certain. The crest my conclusions led me to was far too unusual. A crest thought to have disappeared from this world in the millennium since the fall of Nemesis, the King of Liberation. The crest of flames. That is what you possess. Your ability to wield the Sword of the Creator has unequivocally proven my hypothesis. A legendary power, dormant since time immemorial, and now resurrected.
I do hope when we play the other one, I doubt we'll get it this time, but we find out why Edelgard has the Crest of Flames. I bet it has to do with the research that those that Slither were doing, because that's probably what they were doing with Lysithea, to try and awaken dormant crests, which is why Lysithea has two.
There can be no doubt that this ancient power resides within you.
Sure.
I'm so sorry, Professor. I somehow overslept and missed our training session.
I don't believe you. You ditched.
I didn't mean to cause you and the others so much trouble. Imagine if that had happened during one of our missions. It really is inexcusable.
Yeah, you need to rest more.
It's just, when I'm studying tactics, I lose track of time and... Oh, who am I kidding? I've always been like this. Before I came to the Officers Academy, I was a student at the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad. Even back then, I was pulling all-nighters well before the exams. And I never even noticed I was harming myself. I'm just too focused on my goal. I know I've already told you this, but I really love to learn new things.
You have said it before, but it's not a bad thing.
It's a passion of sorts. I first realized I had the learning bug when I was about 4 or 5 years old. My father was so happy to see me using magic. Seeing him happy made me happy too, and that made me want to work even harder.
It's kind of interesting in worlds where magic exists and it's just like a thing people can do.
If only things could have stayed like that. When I was about 13, my father left home.
Oh, yep, went to the store to pick up some milk. I've heard this story before.
He was a devout man, so I figured he'd gone to the monastery. That's why I went to the School of Sorcery, so that I could eventually get accepted at the Officers Academy. I studied harder than ever, and sure enough, I finally earned a referral. Unfortunately, my passion for learning became more of an obsession. I got so focused, I kind of forgot how to relax. Feels like I've been running in circles ever since.
You're impressive just as you are. Actually, I think that's the better of the way.
I still have such a long way to go.
You can be impressive without being perfect.
Still, I guess I'm doing something wrong if I'm working so hard I can't even work hard anymore. Okay, it's decided. From now on, I'll try my best not to try my best.
That is very confusing.
I'm sorry. All I meant is that I'll slow down a bit. From now on, if you see me going overboard, just let me know. I'm a new woman after all.
Not at all sure I believe her, but hey, good for her.
Thank you for your invitation. To what do I owe this surprise? Thank you.
Wow, if I actually get her, the leading in and examining is going to be a little bit more than usual.
Huh?
Yeah, she definitely seems like...
Huh?
Tell me more about... I already asked about your first crushes, but tell me again. Tell me every lurid detail.
There's no alcohol in here. It's better if you can sleep without it, but all you have is tea?
God damn it.
No.
Oh.
Thanks for the treat.
Still charm up. Holy, I don't get to... Interesting. Wow, just from that?
Oh, settle.
I've seen this before. Because Manuel didn't wait to the end of that playthrough, or she didn't actually die, but she certainly wasn't a moot.
A stone? A stone. I do not understand. Yet, as I think of it, the pounding in my chest grows faster still. But is that me? Or is it you?
So normally, we are very, very, very adamant about, trying to move through this game at a pretty steady clip. And one episode is the battle, one episode is support, one episode is the battle, one episode is support. There was so much to examine here and so much to look into that we didn't even get to talking to the supports until we're already done with the episode.
Hey, I could use a hand.
Okay, so that's that quest when we finally unlocked it. Cool beans, cool beans. So yeah, next time we will actually do the... What is your name? With the underground, Shifty Merchant.
Things we can't obtain here are likely obtainable by way of the underground. Are you unfamiliar with Garreg underground? The place is an absolute paradise for those who can't stay above ground.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so it's a little bit of a difference, but it's one of those things because we've got a lot of supports to do, and this episode would go on for like 2 hours. Okay, probably not 2 hours, but a long time. They're already getting to know all the peoples. I think it's funny she hasn't actually bonded with Leona yet, but she's bonded with everyone over here. But you know what? That's why I recruited her. Yes, it is. See you next time, party peoples. I will see you in the next one.